Day 1. You don't feel like you have a problem. That's the first thing you need to understand. You are not sitting in a dim room with a needle in your arm. You're not destroying your life in any visible, nameable way. You have a job. You shower. You show up to things. By every external measure, you are fine. But here's what your nervous system looks like right now. You wake up and reach for your phone before you are fully conscious. Not because there's something important on it, because the silence feels wrong. You eat lunch and open a video because eating alone with your thoughts feels like too much. You sit down to work on something that matters to you, a project, a goal, something you actually care about, and within 4 minutes you have opened a tab you didn't decide to open. You don't remember doing it. Your hand just moved. You are not bored. You are not lazy. You are chemically dependent on a level of stimulation that the human brain was never designed to handle. And the worst part, the thing you're addicted to is free, legal, and in your pocket. Day 1 of a dopamine detox is not a plan, it's a decision. And the decision feels fine for approximately the first 40 minutes. Then the noise starts. Day 1, hour 6. The phone is in the other room. You put it there deliberately. You sit down. There's nothing happening. No notification, no video, no scroll. Just you and the room and the particular quality of silence that you have been successfully avoiding for 3 years. Your brain doesn't know what to do with this. It starts filing requests. Check the phone. Just once. You might have missed something. You haven't missed anything. You know that. But the feeling doesn't care what you know. This is dopamine withdrawal, and it feels physically like low-grade anxiety, a restlessness in your chest, an itch behind your eyes. Your attention keeps reaching for something that isn't there, and finding nothing, and reaching again. Neuroscientists call this your baseline dopamine level. After years of supernormal stimulation, the infinite scroll, the autoplay, the notification that arrives every 11 minutes, your brain recalibrated what normal feels like. Normal now is constant input. Silence reads as threat. Stillness reads as wrong. You make it to the end of the day. You feel vaguely proud and deeply uncomfortable. You sleep worse than usual. Your dreams are strange. You have no idea what's coming. Day 3. This is the bottom. Your brain has been waiting for the hit that isn't coming, and it is not happy. The restlessness from day 1 has sharpened into something closer to irritability. Small things are louder than they should be. Someone chews near you and it takes genuine effort not to react. A conversation goes 2 minutes longer than you wanted it to, and you feel a pressure building behind your sternum. You are not an angry person. You know that. But right now your brain is running on a dopamine deficit, and everything it encounters gets rated against a standard it can no longer meet. Real life, real, actual, unedited life is slow and repetitive and low resolution compared to what you've been feeding yourself. Your nervous system is filing a complaint. This is also the day most people quit, not because the detox isn't working, but because it's working exactly as it should, and that feels terrible. The discomfort you're feeling isn't a sign that something is wrong. It's the sound of your brain recalibrating. It's withdrawal, and withdrawal means it was real. You don't quit, but you want to.
Day 7. Something shifted overnight, and you don't have a word for it yet. The sharpest edge of the irritability is gone. Not completely. You still feel it in the late afternoons, in that specific window between 3 and 5 p.m. when your energy dips and your brain sends up a request for something easy and stimulating. But the baseline has dropped. The constant reaching has slowed. For the first time in years, you sat outside for 20 minutes this morning and didn't feel the need to be doing anything else at the same time. 20 minutes outside, doing nothing. And it was okay. Your brain is beginning to restore what researchers call dopamine receptor sensitivity. When you flood your reward system constantly, the receptors downregulate. They become less responsive, which is why you needed more content, more stimulation, more novelty just to feel normal. One weekend, the receptors start to come back online. The signal gets cleaner. But here's the catch. You are still in the early fragile zone. One bad afternoon, one moment of boredom that you're not ready for, and the phone is back in your hand and you've lost the week. The door is still open. You haven't walked far enough away from it yet. You also notice something uncomfortable. Without the constant scroll to fill every gap, your thoughts are louder. Not peaceful thoughts, the ones you are avoiding, the thing you need to do that you've been putting off, the conversation you owe someone, the goal you quietly stopped believing in. You buried them under content, and the content is gone now. And they're just sitting there, waiting. Day 14. You are sleeping differently. Not better exactly, though the sleep is better, differently. You are going to sleep tired and waking up something that feels closer to rested. The quality has changed in a way that's hard to describe, except that you don't feel like you need to recover from the night. This is not a coincidence. Blue light suppression and pre-sleep cortisol spikes from late-night scrolling were costing you the deepest stages of your sleep cycle, and you didn't know, because you never felt the absence. You only feel it now in its return. Your attention span is also changing. You started reading a book on day 9. Not an audiobook, not a summary, a book. The first 3 sessions were genuinely difficult. You had to read the same paragraph twice, 3 times, 4 times before it landed. On day 14, you read for an hour without checking anything. An hour with a book. This felt inexplicably like a personal achievement. The dopamine system doesn't just regulate pleasure. It regulates motivation, focus, and the ability to delay gratification. When it's been hammered flat by overstimulation, all three suffer. What you called laziness for years, the inability to start, to focus, to follow through, was partly neurological. Your reward system was too noisy to hear the quiet signal of meaningful work. 2 weeks in, the signal is getting through. Day 21. You did something you haven't done in years. You had a thought, a real original thought, the kind that arrives uninvited in quiet moments, and you let it develop. You didn't immediately translate it into a caption or a search or a video idea. You just held it, turned it over, followed it somewhere. It led somewhere interesting. 3 weeks is when the psychological literature starts talking about the beginning of real behavioral change. The initial withdrawal is behind you. The novelty of the experiment has worn off. What you have left is the actual practice, showing up to your own life without a buffer between you and it. What nobody prepares you for is how alive ordinary things become. You eat a meal and it actually tastes like something. You have a conversation and you're fully in it, not half present while a part of your brain wonders what you're missing online. You go for a walk and notice things, a specific quality of light at 6 p.m., the way sound changes when you turn a certain corner. You always walked past all of this. You were somewhere else. Here's the part that will make you angry when you realize it. You were never actually relaxing when you were scrolling. Passive consumption is not rest. Your brain was working the whole time, processing images, generating responses, comparing, evaluating, measuring. You thought you were unwinding. You were just tired in a different direction.
Rest, it turns out, is this: the walk, the meal, the thought you let develop. Day 30. Your tolerance for boredom has changed. This is the most underrated transformation, and no one talks about it. Boredom used to be a problem to be solved immediately, a gap to be filled. Now it's something else, a signal. When you're bored, something in you has started asking a different question. Not what can I consume right now, but what am I actually supposed to be doing? Boredom is the brain's request for meaning. You couldn't hear it before because you answered it too fast. A month in, you are producing more than you are consuming, not because you forced yourself to, because the balance naturally shifted when you stopped flooding the consumption side. You wrote something, you built something, you started the project that lived in the notebook, the one you kept meaning to start. Your dopamine baseline has reset. What this means, practically, things that used to feel flat now have texture. A hard workout produces a real sense of reward. Finishing a difficult task gives you something that feels chemically like the scroll used to, but cleaner, and it lasts longer. Low stimulation activities have become tolerable, then pleasant, then preferred. Day 60. You went back once. Let's be honest about this. Around day 47, you had a rough week and you spent 2 evenings the old way. Phone in hand, hours disappearing, the familiar low buzz of passive consumption. You woke up on day 49 feeling it immediately. A flatness, a vague dissatisfaction with everything. The contrast was sharp in a way it never was before, because now you had something to compare it to. You stopped again, quickly. Not because you have perfect willpower, because you've now experienced both states long enough to choose. This is what 60 days gives you, a genuine preference, rooted in something real. Not willpower holding the line, an actual felt sense of which version of your life you want to live. Day 100. You are not the same person who put the phone in the other room 99 days ago. The person who did that was trying to fix something, a productivity problem, a focus problem, a vague sense that their attention was being eaten. You fixed those things, but that's not actually what happened here. What happened is that you got your mind back, not a better, optimized, high-performance mind. Yours, the one that gets distracted by a specific quality of light at 6 p.m., the one that follows a thought somewhere interesting without turning it into content, the one that can sit with another person in a room and actually be there, in the room, with them. Dopamine is not the enemy, it is the currency of meaning. The problem was never pleasure, it was the counterfeit version, the kind that costs nothing and returns nothing, and leaves you precisely where it found you. 100 days ago, you were running on counterfeit. Now you know what the real thing feels like, and you know the difference, which means you can never fully unknow it. That's the point. That was always the point.